Hey viewers and viewresses, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome to The Longest Walk. This is a little indie game that is free to play on Steam. It's only short. Looking at the reviews, it seems to be an average of 0.2, 0.3 hours, so probably about 10 to 15 minutes, roughly. And basically it's sort of like a narrative walking sim kind of game, but it deals with themes about depression, I do believe, so I suppose I should probably give a little disclaimer here at the start. You know, if you have or have ever suffered depression, maybe just go into this with a little caution, just in case there's anything in this content-wise that maybe hits a little close to home and all that. So, without further ado, let's just get on in there, ladies and gentlemen, make a start. So like I say, don't know too much of the game other than what we've seen there. Oh, well, there's your content warning, ladies and gentlemen. Strong language, potentially triggering content on topics related to anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation. Yeah, and there you go. Somewhat unsettling. Have a tea game, lab, even. Alexander Tarvit. I'll be a bit more solemn in this one, given the themes. Escape obviously to pause, WASD to walk, mouse to look. Like I say, I think it is very much a walking sim that focuses on the story, so naturally there probably won't be any real sort of interaction. Oh, we can actually move in this area. Okay, I guess we're going forward maybe? Ah, we are.
I felt anxious, so anxious that I was burning. My heart was beating really fast. I couldn't sleep. I got tireder and tireder because I couldn't sleep, because I was worrying. I was worry. I've let my family down. Everyone's going to suffer because I'm no good. Everybody who relied on me, it was a false reliance. I was a fake. Therefore, I worried even more about what financial disaster I'd put in my family. So, anxiety, nervous energy burning off, lack of sleep. Yeah, I remember vividly curling up in a ball in the living room floor, howling, not even crying, howling, seeing how shit I was. Yeah, I felt so bad. That's all I could do. I just wanted to get taken away from all.
Yeah, I probably won't say much in this playthrough if there's a lot of narration like that. Kind of let the game speak for itself. I will fill, the odd silence here and there. So it has a very interesting graphical style, this.
I only realised something was wrong when I was driving back from school crying, and I knew this wasn't right. It was a build-up of stress in work and expectations of work, and then finding that I couldn't do it. I wasn't alone. Other people were struggling with it, but I just thought, I can't do this. Why? What's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? I'm a failure.
I think a lot of people, whether they have depression or not, grapple with that. Feelings of, I guess you could say, imposter syndrome, lack of self-worth, feeling like, they should be able to do something, then they can't. Expectation can be a bitch like that.
I didn't know I was depressed, and I think it just got worse after that point. There was no stopping it. Once it started, the feelings of negativity about not being good enough, I couldn't stop it.
Apologies if it just sounded like I was treating it flippantly a moment ago. That's not my intention in calling it a bitch and all that. That make it sound like I'm sort of, like I say, being a bit flippant. That's not the intention. You know what I mean? But yes, everything I've heard about depression is that
the whole thing made me feel that I was worthless. So I didn't want to meet anyone. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I was so worthless that there's no point in, I shouldn't be indulging in my hobbies, which I love, my cycling and my books. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, everything I've heard about depression is that it destroys your sense of self-worth. And you think, why would anyone waste their time with me? You feel like you have no value. That seems to be a common thing.
I could see, and now I can, that these are the sort of things I should have kept doing. I should have kept in contact with people. I should have gone out on my bike. I should have gone to the cinema. I should have done this. I just had to hide because it was an embarrassment, and I was a worthless human being. And all the things that laterally I know is
it supposed to be cars? Sorry. I think I was got distracted by the sound. I think it's supposed to be cars obviously going over this underpass. Guess we go this way. This is our default movement speed, by the way. Obviously no sprint or anything like that.
It consumed me. Finding a way to kill myself that nobody would get hurt with. If I didn't want to jump in front of a train in case the train driver had to suffer stroke. I didn't want to hang yourself in the forest because some kid might find you. But I didn't want to kill myself. But I did. And it was not a drama thing. It wasn't attention. It was.
I don't like the fact we're obviously coming up to a bridge. By the looks of it.
Piece of shit. I'm no good to anyone. Everybody would be better off without me. Which didn't make sense. Now, when I see it, it doesn't make sense. But I was so desperate. Also, I could understand why people would do it.
I should also say, the blurb for this game on Steam says, what's the correct word? Is it biographical or autobiographical? Well, whichever one it was is the correct term. I'm assuming this is based on the developer's own experiences. Quite possibly. So if he's the one narrating this right now, then I'm assuming, obviously, that they didn't commit suicide.
And I was so numb.
But felt like they could do at some point.
I could feel that people in my position then I could see how they could do it. But unfortunately I knew I couldn't because of my family. There's no way. Even though I was suffering and I was hating it and I was absolutely hating myself, I would have never done that to my family.
Yeah, saying the graphical style of this obviously being very minimalist, but it does look very, very, very good. I think it's a very good graphical style for the message that this game is trying to impart.
I remember a run, actually being on the beach at Kingsbands, thinking, because it was away from us all and I was having me time, then I reflected what a fucking great life I had. This is brilliant. I love my family and this is great. I can do this.
So you had a moment to get away from it all and just reflect.
I am a guy who did a lot of things on his own, and I think when you're giving time to other people as your job, you sometimes need a bit of time yourself without being too selfish.
No, there's nothing selfish about taking time for yourself. Everyone's got to do it in life. I think it's a good message for young people in particular. Every so often, do have a bit of me time and all that. Yeah, you can have responsibilities in life, things you need to do, whether that's schoolwork, work once you leave school, studies, work on obviously relations with people around you, things like that. And that will take up a bit of time, but do take the time just to look after yourself sometimes. That is true. One should seek that.
As soon as I got out there and into my stride, which not great running, but into my stride, the head would clear, and then you could just enjoy the experience. So you hear the birds, you listen to the sea crashing in, you feel tactile the sand, and like experience of being doing that sort of thing, so I could enjoy the surroundings.
Oh yeah, I really do like the graphics.
Rush, because it's all was about timetabling, and at the end, I'm more relaxed. Come home and go on with the rest of it.
You know, I sometimes look back on youth.
I know.
Oh, sorry, I'll say in a second once he's done.
I'm hopeful I won't have them again. I can't tell if I'm going to have them or not. I don't know what's going to kick in. You know, I didn't think I'd get it after the second time, but then I went back into that position of responsibility, and I had a trigger there. I was like, oh.
No, I was going to say is I think for a lot of young people, when you have all that expectation on you, it can feel like people are expecting you to be perfect, to get things right quickly. And I think sometimes something that, you know, always helped me when I was younger was kind of the realisation that sometimes in life you don't need to get everything right. You don't need to always have the definitive answer to problems when people approach you. Sometimes, you know, it's fine to admit if you don't have the answer, and instead, you know, treat any sort of things that you have to contribute or deliver as a step towards an answer. You don't have to provide the answer that ends everything, the be all and end all.
Things were happening, and I knew that I didn't want to be ill, and I knew that I should be doing certain things and doing all these different techniques, but I couldn't stop it. And that was also a frustrating thing, that to have this experience of 2 big episodes, and then the third one to come again, and know and be aware, because I was awareness of triggers and stresses, and because I couldn't get a grip with that made it worse.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what I've just outlined there may seem like a bit of a tangent. Obviously that won't apply to everybody. Everyone's experience of depression usually is slightly different, and what may help one person won't necessarily help another. That's the thing, you know? Sometimes you just got to find what works for you.
The second and third episodes, I got better at dealing with it and saying, well, I can't do anything about it. I'm ill. If I had a broken leg and I was in a plaster, it's obvious. But because I've got a broken head, it's not obvious to see that I'm ill. I think the last time I was ill was much quicker because I did get the grip. I would like to think I'm a better person for it. It was a good thing. It was a horrible thing, but it was a good thing, in that it made me reflect on what was important. My family was more important than anything else. What other people think doesn't matter, apart from the ones close to you. And work is important. It's a job, and getting that balance right, and that was what was wrong.
Sort of like you were living to work instead of working to live, kind of.
Boys,
it's a problem for a lot of people.
Talked about, and I think they weren't fully aware of just how seriously ill it was, which is brilliant, because we were too young to deal with that at the time, but it's good to talk about now.
Aye.
I hope they know that if anything like that happens to them, then they understand it. Well, it's happened to their dad, so, and he's still here, and he's still okay, I hope. And yeah, that if it happens to their friends, and that happens to people they love, that they'll have insight into to know that people need help.
And it fades to black. I guess that's where it ends. Ah. There you go. hear my chair squeaking throughout that, but I don't think it'll have sounded that much. There you go. That was The Longest Walk. Just a simple, heartfelt little account of depression. And you know, if you are struggling with depression, there are people who can help you. So, search for that help when you're ready and you feel able to do so. And without further ado, we will wrap up there. I'm not going to sort of talk for too long, so I'll do my usual outro stuff at this stage, ladies and gentlemen. My social media links, propagandist channel link, etc. can all be found in the video description down below. If you enjoyed, a like is of course always appreciated. Other than that, I will see you for some more content on the channel very soon. Goodbye, everybody. Where do you want me to go? There's a reason why this is here. Gives you a view of what remains of the red square that was there. Look at that view. So I don't have time to be really admiring it, but it's down here maybe. That's where it wants me to go, isn't it? This channel. Okay. This ain't good. Right, check compass. That's fine. Reload. In this game, you're capable of reloading while sprinting. See movement all up there.